Hey YouTube, hey Albies, welcome into today's video, and today we're reacting to a new video. This one is called Discord's Grid Ban is the Start of Something Worse, and it is by NoTextToSpeech. Now, with this video, I'm going to be honest, when I first saw it, I thought it was nonsense. You know, I had someone bring it up to me in terms of my Discord, and I was just like, really? That sounds like that sounds stupid. I doubt that's happening. I really don't think that's happening. I think that's bull. But just in case, you know, I trusted it, I put precautions in the Discord, and everything came out okay. And then I came out after, and I was just like, oh, that wasn't nonsense. That was actually true. So now we can actually find out what it's all about thanks to NoTextToSpeech. So let's give it a look-see. Remember, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hype up the video, and let's crack on.
And this optical illusion that's making me nauseous all have in common.
God, that's gross.
If you sent it on Discord last week, you would get instantly banned for child safety, and over 8,000 people got banned. So I'm gonna explain what happened. How?
For posting a grid? That's against child safety? Are optical illusions harmful? I'm confused.
What happened, and also how this is the start of things just getting worse, all thanks to our favorite two letters, AI. Alright, so let me catch you up on what happened if you don't really know what this grid ban is, but basically on July 3rd, 4th, somewhere around that time, a whole bunch of people started getting banned off Discord for sending textures like this, something with a grid, and things started to escalate. People were sending Minecraft screenshots banned. You can't play Minecraft. Chess, you're a nerd, get off the platform. Excel, you're employed. You can't be on Discord. Basically, a whole bunch of people started getting banned. There are announcements everywhere. Discord was on fire. And I was on vacation, so I really didn't care at all. But everything came to a head when there was this tweet by Tallcow YouTube who said, there's currently a vulnerability in Discord's AI moderation that detects any and all square grid images, such as spreadsheets, chessboards, Minecraft inventory, white and gray transparent
permanently ban your account as well? So it's not even like a temp ban, it's just immediately ban, never gonna open another account again. What the hell? Why?
Backgrounds as CSAM and will permanently ban your account. Now, if you don't know, CSAM is child... I can't even say two of those words.
Yeah, I kind of understood what that stood for. Yeah, but... okay. I'm glad there is an automatic measure in place, so if anyone does post that, it's immediately banned, that person is removed and reported. That's good. I like that there is a thing in place to stop this. However, it needs to be perfected, because what do you mean a chessboard gets you listed under the same category? That's dumb. That needs to be fixed ASAP.
YouTube. It's the acronym on screen. It's basically CP, just the official way of saying it. But yeah, if you sent a Minecraft inventory, you would get banned off Discord for child safety. And I've said this multiple times throughout a whole bunch of videos. If you get banned for child safety, it's almost impossible to get unbanned. So people are panicking and freaking out. And I really want to point out with this tweet, there is one thing being blamed, specifically
AI moderation.
AI moderation. In fact, Tallcow says that AI moderation needs to be scrapped and replaced with humans.
I agree with that. I agree that we need humans in these roles because AI can only follow a script. It can't differentiate, and that's why it doesn't work well like with this. But also at the same time, with how big and how widely used Discord is, I don't know if you'd be able to have enough people on a payroll to be able to afford to do this.
Now, shockingly, a day later, Discord actually responded to this and explained how it happened. Now, people are skeptical, and most people think that Discord is trying to hide something or lying about AI. So first, I'm going to tell you what Discord said in their whole entire tweet, and then I'm going to tell you what I found out. According to Discord support, they said, this weekend, our safety systems incorrectly triggered and banned around 200 accounts. And it turns out that 200 accounts is a little bit more of a problem, as Discord explained.
Wow. So they reinstated 200 accounts, but it was actually nearly 9,000 or 8,500 that were affected. Okay.
But this is what happens. A thread. I hate Twitter. So according to Discord, their systems flag content by matching it against known harmful material. This kind of similarity matching can produce false positives, which is why a member of our trust and safety team always reviews flagged content before any action is taken.
But if they're acting on the flagged content before issuing the perma ban, then they would have seen that it was not the CSAM and that it was Minecraft, so that already defeats the point of what you're trying to say? Huh.
Because according to Discord, the intended behavior is that if you send something that gets flagged as CSAM, they are going to ban you to temporarily pause you from uploading more content. So if they think you're sending CSAM, they're going to ban you to stop you. Then they'll review it with a human. The problem, though, is that they had a bug which caused the latter. When their human staff reviewed and cleared those accounts, the same bug prevented the ban from being lifted automatically. So it just stayed in place. So the human that is forced to look at CSAM content, a content moderator.
I feel so sorry for these people. They're doing a good job to making sure that it's not distributed, but to have to watch it in the first place is absolutely soul destroying. Props to them. If that was my job, I'd probably have to quit after a week. I wouldn't be able to hack it on a mental scale. No way in hell.
The second they realize that today's a good day, I'm just looking at a checker grid, and they click on yes to accept your appeal. It turns out there was a bug that wouldn't get you unbanned.
So no means no and yes means no, so ultimately everything means no. This is not a good bug.
And my favorite part about this is that it turns out Discord realized that around 8,200 accounts were affected by the bug from May of 2026 through last week. So this bug went on for 2 months. Now Discord does their whole, oh, we're sorry, we messed up. Now the issue with this whole entire response is that the initial tweet that blew up talks about Discord's AI moderation, and there is no mention of that in this thread by Discord.
But they did kind of dodge it by saying human. Right? They said human reviewer.
Like, how does a system look at a Minecraft screenshot and say, yes, you're a predator? So they're not even addressing, like, the elephant in the room. Also, this reads a lot like PR slop. And finally, is any of this true? So with that, I need to do my job, look into things, and there's 3 things to dissect. The first thing is that Discord says that a real human being with a heart and a pulse, with a brain and not an artificial intelligence computer agent shareholder value increasing machine, a human being is reviewing this sort of content. The second thing Discord claims is that they've unbanned everyone affected by this bug. And the third thing is what Discord didn't talk about, how they think an optical illusion is a child. So let's start off with the human reviewer claim. Now, I've constantly said that Discord's appeal system feels like talking to a brick wall or talking to a clanker that has the intelligence of a robot vacuum.
And this is what it's like as well, talking on you know, when you open like Amazon, for example, and they've got the chat bot. It doesn't help, bro. It acts like a human, but all it does is just send you in circles and circles and circles and circles. It's an absolute nightmare.
I specifically pointed that out because I know I have a clip of a robot vacuum crashing down the stairs like my old grandma who just died recently.
Oh,
but for me,
sad.
I know that like a human being does look at child safety violations because Discord banning people for sending grids is bad. But it'd be even worse if Discord sent off your message to law enforcement, labeling you as a predator, and then law enforcement goes to your house, kicks down your door.
Exactly. You're going to end up getting raided. You're going to end up getting swatted for apparently having CSAM, even though you don't have CSAM. That's a very slippery slope. Like I said at the beginning, it's good that there are measures in place to stop this, but also in the same sentence, we need to acknowledge the fact of it is clearly not fit for purpose in its current state.
Oh, you sent a grid and Discord is fucking stupid, right? So there's a human in the middle. But instead of me just saying, yo, trust me, bro, this is what's happening, instead I want to talk about an incident that happened to me on my alt account. Because one of my viewers told me that they got banned for child safety for sending this screenshot of a TikTok comment section. Now, they were roasting some poor soul, so I have blurred out his face because he probably doesn't want to be on the internet. But I sent that screenshot on my alt account and I got hit with a child safety violation. So Discord's system, I'm going to call it a system for now, I'll explain what it is a little bit later, but Discord's system assumed that I was a predator because they thought this TikTok screenshot was CSAM. And what they did is they limited access to me uploading attachments for a single day. Now, when it comes to this grid ban, people got their accounts banned completely.
Well, that's kind of okay. And then that's as well, that in a sense as well, that's kind of like a janky system, because you could post a picture of someone, and although that person could be like 18, like for example, I've met so many people who are like 35, 36, 37 years old, and they look like they've just finished high school going into university. Like they look so young when they're actually not. So it could be just like, hey guys, look, I'm taking a selfie. Look at my holiday. Look at this beach. This is a cool beach. And then immediately, boom, banned, bye-bye. It's just like, huh? What do you mean? It needs to be tested and reviewed more before it's put into place. 100%.
And I'm pretty sure that happened because Discord realized that having a single day to filter out a predator is a little bit difficult in a short timeline.
Too short.
But fundamentally, they both work the same. They prevent you from sharing and spreading more CSAM. But in the case of my alt account, if I genuinely did share CSAM, then within this day of me being limited from uploading images, within that day, a Discord employee should have looked at that image that I sent and permanently banned me.
Yeah.
And considering I'm on it and I also used it for an investigation a couple months later, that obviously didn't happen because a human being looked at this, realized it was a TikTok comment, and didn't ban my account. Now, not everything is good. If I try appealing this violation, it doesn't work. In fact, this violation is still on my account. Clearly, like, the system is buggy as fuck, which to me is just reinforces the fact that Discord had a bug that prevented them from actually unbanning accounts automatically. But it's time to talk about the second thing I need to dissect, whether or not Discord unbanned everyone. Now, Discord's not like a super incompetent company sometimes, but it is extremely easy for Discord to unban people who got caught by this grid ban because they made it clear that they found some sort of false positive image. And in Discord's backend, they track everything. They probably tracked that one image, its hash, was the thing that got you banned. So they can just look through and they can unban everyone that got affected. And it's pretty clear that this was the case because they managed to unban 8,200 accounts from months ago in a matter of a single day. But doesn't mean everyone got unbanned. Because if you look at the Twitter context, this person is a music producer and they claim that they have been banned by this and they haven't been reinstated. And I'm not just taking Twitter's word for it. I've looked through multiple people that claim to be unbanned, whether it's on Twitter or Reddit, and there are people that have been banned months ago for child safety. One person got banned for...
I wonder if they... I don't know. I don't know what Discord is like. Okay, so please bear that in mind. Like, yes, I have a Discord. Yes, I use Discord, but I've never had to fight the support system of Discord. So correct me if I'm wrong on this, right? I wonder if it's a similar system to like YouTube. You know, like when you've got an issue and the bot just doesn't recognize and you get given a copyright strike. And then you have to cry about it on Twitter. And if you don't have a big following, you're screwed. But if you've got a big following, it's okay. I wonder if Discord's got a similar system where you only get your bans and your false positives lifted if you're someone of status. Now, I don't want to imagine that's the case, but it's not completely outside the realms of possibility either.
Sending, I think, like an earthbound texture grid. This has always consistently been a problem. People getting falsely flagged and getting banned. And the thing I'm trying to point out is that Discord knows there was like 1 or 2 false positive images that caused all these bans, which allowed them to unban a whole bunch of people. But there are probably still maybe 10, maybe 100 other false positive images that have gotten people banned, and this bug prevented them from being unbanned. Like, we don't know when this bug started. Now, of course, I don't know exactly what Discord has done, but from my outsider perspective, it seems like Discord should set up a system where they scrape through all of their backend and just check if an accepted appeal actually meant the account got unbanned. Like, just make sure this bug...
Like a secondary check, like a failsafe. I mean, it makes sense to have one in place, right?
Didn't affect other people because you haven't looked through those other false positives. And finally, it's time to address the elephant in the room. How did Discord's AI system think that this or this or this is CSAM? How did Discord mess up this bad? And plot twist, according to a Discord employee, AngloVT, this has nothing to do with AI. In fact, this has to do with Photo DNA, a product made by Microsoft that is used all across the internet. Now, before I dig
never heard of this before.
To this, I do want
Is it? I imagine this is to do with like the codings and stuff in the properties of a file, right?
I want to say we're on Twitter. Most people are chronically online, hardcore conspiracy theorists, and are highly delusional and paranoid. So they might think that AngloVT is lying to us and trying to make us blame Microsoft's Photo DNA instead of a sentient Discord AI that's scanning all your images. And I kind of honestly wish that was the case because that would be a brilliant story to dig into, but turns out it is Photo DNA's problem because I've talked to people that have skin in the game when it comes to protecting Discord. I've talked to people who hate Discord, and they all say that this is a Photo DNA problem. Now, if you don't know, Photo DNA is a Microsoft product that they made a long time ago that it's free for companies to use, but it is a perceptual hashing algorithm for image identification and content filtering technology. What does that mean for normal people? Basically, it's a system that tries to identify similar images.
Okay. So it's like, for example, when you have an image and you hold it or or copy it and then paste it into the search bar on Google, it will then read the photo DNA or code or whatever of that image, and it will load up every image that's similar or related to that image. So I imagine it works in the similar way. So then Discord would use that same system to identify any images linked to the problematic material. Okay, that makes things, yeah, okay, that clarifies, that tracks.
So let's say that this image here is CSAM, something that should be blocked by any website that has photo DNA. If someone uploads this to Discord, they will instantly get banned.
Yes.
Now, predators have a brain cell. Maybe. And what they will try to do is they will try to bypass photo DNA by cropping the image a little bit. This is a completely different image cryptographically, but with a fuzzy hashing algorithm, they can say that this image is similar to the whole image because of math. And this perceptual hashing, the fuzzy hashing, the way photo DNA works is that they try to prevent predators from finding bypasses by cropping, maybe by adjusting some colors and turning David into a Simpson Smurf, something. They try to prevent predators from just drawing on the image to change it enough to bypass photo DNA. Photo DNA doesn't care about all that stuff. It uses crazy math algorithms to say that these two images are extremely similar, which means they're probably both CSAM. So basically, photo DNA uses a whole bunch of weird math to flag similar images by turning them into like these weird, like pixely, noisy things, which is actually part of an exploit, which I'll talk about later, but it's trying to find similar images.
Can I have a side note? That panda looks really angry. Like, look, it's dribbling a little bit, and look at the teeth on this thing. Brother, pandas are adorable, but when they're angry, they look terrifying.
With math. And photo DNA has a massive database containing hashes of previously identified illegal images. They have a database of hashes. It's sort of like a fingerprint. That's what they try to use and explain. And what websites like Facebook, Discord, Twitter do is they use the same photo DNA algorithm to create a fingerprint of an image that you upload. And if it's similar to a fingerprint, if it's known CSAM content, then you're probably
then it'll get flagged.
CSAM. It's just this crazy moderation system, and Discord uses it a lot. In fact,
hold on, what was that?
Crazy moderation system, and Discord uses
860, nearly 1 million accounts have been banned for this stuff. And oh my god, and 125,000 for actually having conduct with. Nah. Man, can we just burn this world down, please? Let's just burn. Listen, there's no point. Listen, we're at war every decade. The economy sucks. There is no future, really. Let's just burn it all down. Like, that's so messed up. That is so messed up. I'm genuinely speechless.
Uses it a lot. In fact, in Discord's transparency report for a single year between March of 2025 to 2026, Discord disabled 861,000 accounts for CSAM. And they specifically highlight that Discord filed 518,000 cyber tip reports with the NCMEC, which included 339,000 reports involving photo or video content. Now, there's an advantage to photo DNA that not a lot of people realize. When Discord reports these people to the NCMEC with reports involving photo or video content, a human being at the NCMEC will look at the content, verify that it's CSAM, and it will add that hash to the photo DNA database. So that means that the database is constantly being updated with new pieces of CSAM hashes to prevent people from sharing CSAM on the internet. Now, so far, photo DNA sounds pretty sick. Like this thing works. It gets people reported to law enforcement, stops predators. Like, it's great. But this is where I think things went wrong. Now, I just want to point out this is sort of a prediction, speculation.
I'm going to place my guess. I'm going to guess the fact that the fingerprint imaging that they put on top of the image to identify it as kind of results in a similar appearance to grids. So therefore, anything with a grid resembles the fingerprint that was put on the CSAM imaging, which therefore lists anything similar in a grid format as CSAM.
I'm not omniscient. I don't have access to the inner workings of Discord or photo DNA, but on Discord, there is a massive surge of predator bots. Talked about it in a previous video, but basically there are bots on Discord that will send images or have in their profile picture CSAM content, and they're meant to try and sell it to you on Telegram or weird other chatting platforms.
That's mad. The only time that picture's really fucking creepy. The only time I've ever used Telegram was to try and find out what was going on on with the Russia-Ukraine war because people were saying, oh, they're not showing it on the news, and I downloaded it to try and find out. And next thing you know, I'm seeing stuff that would have been on the early internet, and it's graphic, man. It is gross. It is... Ugh. Nah, not a bit of me. Listen, I've seen movies, so I know what a gunshot wound looks like, but an artillery shell is a completely different pot of gravy.
Something that I've seen a lot more is that the images that they send, or the profile pictures that they have, are a photo gallery, and the photos are all CSAM content. It's just a grid of CSAM content. But these are constantly being posted on Discord, and they constantly get taken down for being CSAM. But when this happens, that gallery photo gets reported to the NCMEC, and it gets added to their database. And when you have hundreds of thousands of images of people's photo gallery, and you have an algorithm that looks for things that are sort of similar, this photo gallery else just looks like a grid, and a grid is kind of looking like CSAM now. Now, that's not the whole picture. Looking at this article from Safer, which is built by Thorn, which Discord has stated in one of their blog posts that they work with Thorn, there is another system called a Safer list, where basically you, or Discord, will start flagging content, and you will add it to your own little database. It's like your own little photo DNA database, and this is meant to prevent like predators who like have new CSAM content from flooding your whole entire platform, because when the photo DNA like database, which is managed by the NCMEC, when it gets updated, it has to go through like a report, it has to be reviewed, it has to go into the data set, and the data set has to be redistributed. There's a bit of a delay through this whole entire system. So having a local Safer list, that's what they call it, allows platforms like Discord to operate a lot faster and not wait for the NCMEC. So this also could have been the issue. It is part of the whole photo DNA pipeline, but again, the only information we have is it's photo DNA. So, now again, I'm not omniscient. I can't tell you with 100% certainty what is going on, but one thing I can say for certain is that things are going to get worse for everyone.
Why though? Because if they've highlighted the issue, it should be easy to fix, no? You know, part of the problem was just trying to identify what the issue was. If you've identified the issue, then surely going forward, it should be a little bit easier to fix, no?
The internet. Because I want to take a look at this post by Panley, but they were talking about the photo DNA and Discord support having all these problems, but they pointed out that photo DNA is owned by Microsoft. It's not under the jurisdiction of a governing body or nonprofit. It's software made by a private company that operates at cost, and companies famously do not like throwing money.
Yeah, exactly. So they won't throw money at the problem to fix it unless they get like a government mandate issued to them. Okay, I see. Okay.
The pits. And what I'm trying to point out is that PhotoDNA is owned by Microslop, the company that puts AI into Windows 11 and then has to warn you that the AI could put malware on your PC.
Wait, what? Since when? November last year? This has been a thing? I was completely unawares of this. Oh no, okay, I need to start checking, bro. I recently downloaded Malwarebytes to try and fix my computer. Brother, I had like 17 viruses and 6 Trojans on my computer. I need to invest in some cybersecurity.
Their own feature could put malware on your computer. Now, this seems like me just bashing Microsoft for no reason, but the thing is that PhotoDNA isn't perfect at all. In fact, it has pretty big flaws that people have started to figure out through research, and also because at one point, PhotoDNA was allegedly leaked on GitHub, and people use that to reverse PhotoDNA and find a bunch of issues with it. Basically, PhotoDNA is flawed. For example, this looks a little bit familiar because I've been using it as a visual aid, but what these researchers were able to do is they were actually able to reverse parts of the image. You know the hash that PhotoDNA says is not reversible? Well, they were able to get the hash and turn it into this pixelated image. And you can see, like, obviously,
it's the same picture,
and you didn't know it was a hockey player skating on ice, you'd probably be like, what the f is going on? But there is information that is being leaked through the hashes. But where things get even worse, things that you are probably concerned about, at least I know I am, is the fact that they're able to do hash collisions, or they call it a second pre-image attack. Basically, imagine this crab and this dog is CSAM content. These are the original images that are flagged. And what these researchers were able to do is they would get a target image. These are just normal images that are completely innocent, and they were able to modify the image using weird math to make it where that this image here would have an exact hash collision of this image here. So to PhotoDNA, this crab and this...
So the system can then make it so that anything that is unrelated will still end up getting affected. Okay, I see how that could definitely be a problem.
slightly weird image are exactly the same. If that made absolutely no sense to you, basically, they were able to modify images where if you sent it on Discord, it would think that you're sending CSAM, even though it looks completely normal. And I think the craziest part about this is that they didn't need the original image. Like, they don't actually need the photo. They just needed the hash, which, like, I don't think you understand, but, like, if this is fucking crazy. But wait, there's more.
There's
now,
more?
This is a bit of a rant, so it's time to lock the in for a second. But remember how I thought that the photo gallery led to this grid ban? Well, thankfully for us, on this planet, some corporate CEOs a couple years ago wanted to make more money, and they decided to bless us with our own destruction with AI. Because if you don't know, I'm
AI
about to ruin your day.
no.
AI will make an absolute metric ton of CSAM, like millions and millions of photos you can just generate.
I know this is a dumb thought, but I didn't think it'd have the ability to do it. Like, sure, okay, it might have the skill set programmed into it, but I thought there would have been blockers put in place to make sure that that's not happening. Surely that's common sense to put that in place. No? Maybe I'm just the weird one. I don't know.
With AI. And predators do this because they can say, guys, chill out, law enforcement, stop putting me in handcuffs. This isn't a real child, it's an AI child. I'm not
That's
doing
still messed up,
wrong.
though. That's still messed up.
Debatable. The problem, though, that relates to this whole video is that, first off, if Discord flags this AI CSAM and sends it to the NCMEC, law enforcement is going to be looking for a child that doesn't exist. And that time and resources are taken away from a child that does exist, that does need help. But the second problem with this is that if the photo DNA database is flooded with millions of AI CSAM slop, there's going to be more false flags. We're going to have more issues like this. And from a conversation that I had with someone that's in this industry, they said that a lot of people are really worried about AI CSAM degrading photo DNA's performance. I've shown you with this research article that photo DNA isn't perfect, but it's used almost everywhere on the internet because Microsoft is doing all this hard work and it's all for free. But if photo DNA has more and more false positives and it's being flooded with AI CSAM, it's going to be less trustworthy. People just won't be able to trust it anymore. And companies are going to try and make their own solutions. And they're going to make it using your favorite technology. That's right. AI.
Yeah.
So possibly in a dystopian hellhole future, we will have AI slop trained on AI CSAM to detect real CSAM that will AI scan, moderate your images without any hallucinations.
What is this world, man?
It's definitely not going to work. We have literally AI Ouroboros just eating the slop. The main takeaway is that photo DNA clearly has flaws that are documented in research papers, and photo DNA needs to be improved because the internet is becoming more and more unstable with AI. But the problem is that photo DNA is owned by Microsoft, a company that does this for free, a company that is for profit, and they're not under the jurisdiction of any government
and as
body.
a company, if they're doing something for free and then people start to turn on them for it not being perfect, they'll be like, oh, okay, well, I was doing this for free to try and help people, but if it's not good enough for you and it's just going to get me attacked, then why am I going to bother? And then they're going to stop. And then, like you said, either people are just not going to bother with it and everything's just going to go out of control in a very, very bad way, or people are going to make their own versions of it and it's still going to go out of control in a very, very bad way, just a different type of way.
They have no obligation to make photo DNA better. So this is really like trying to push
Microsoft stock's down?
Do the right thing and spend more money and not putting profits over child safety. And considering Microsoft is literally putting your fucking computer at risk with their shitty ass AI, things aren't looking too good. Anyways, gamers, if this video felt rushed, it's because it is. I was on vacation until Wednesday.
Oh, damn. Well, I hope you had a good vacation, man. I'm going to end the video there. If you want to watch the original video or the link to it is in the description down below. This was definitely a lot heavier of a topic than what I was expecting. I was not expecting that to be the reason why the grid thing happened. And like I said before, I'm glad that there's measures in place to combat it, but we need to make sure they're actually decent. We need to make sure that they're good so that the problems, how can I say, solutions for the greater good do not affect the normal people who are innocent. We don't want people getting, caught in the firing line, as it were. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm sorry it was a bit of a heavy one, but it's always good to know the reason why things are happening, as it were. And, it was something that affected Discord and affected all of us, really. So you have your reason. But that's going to be it for of me today, so thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, again, don't forget to, of course, to check out the link to the original video down below. Click the link, click the like, click the sub to this channel, and hype up the video if you can. But that's going to be all from me. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. And Twitch, let's go on to the next one. Ta-da!